The Ready for a Relationship podcast helps people just like you who find themselves single and alone in their later years get unstuck and break the pattern to move forward and build the loving relationship you expected to have at this point in your life. Discover how to build your relationship with confidence in a fun, easy, loving way so that you are the right person for your right person. And if you enjoy the show and want to share some love, subscribe, rate, review, leave a comment. It all really helps. Here's Suzanne, the host of your show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Ready for a Relationship podcast. I'm here with my co-partner, Shawn. Welcome, Shawn, Super Grandpapa.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, you like this? This is my Sunday shirt made by our grandchildren, granddaughters, Super Grandpapa. And they got bunnies on the shirt so that, because I have only a few million bunnies here in the Wine Valley eating everything I plant. So, yeah. That's that. So we're casual today, and I'm on the patio. So if you hear anything like water truck going by or anything else, sorry.
Dogs barking?
Yeah, can you hear that?
Okay, occasionally.
Okay.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Today we are going to serve you with, are your thoughts creating your reality? And perhaps how to shift to a better reality. Sound like a plan?
Okay.
I hope so. If it is, stay tuned because we're going to just mess with your mind today.
Well, we're going to have fun along the way, okay? Otherwise, well, yes. Okay, well, what's your thought?
Okay. So, quite often we have people that come to us with certain beliefs that are creating a reality in their lives that they're not happy with.
Yeah, absolutely. We sure do. Okay, let's talk about that then. The beliefs that we get a lot of people are, they will say they've actually gotten to a state of giving up. It's a sad thing. They say that this happens to me all the time. All the guys are the same, or all the girls are the same. And it's a repeat, happens over and over again. And it's something that creates a point where they just accept it. They think that that's the way it is always. And they kind of are in a state of giving up. They just accept that that's the reality that they live in, that it just happens over and over again. These guys are all the same and it's a bad thing and they it doesn't work out. Or these girls are all the same and this is the issue I have with all these girls. And it's a cycle, Suzanne. It's like a circle and it goes over and over and over again, repeating. So how do you deal with that? Okay.
Well, what's a specific thought? Let's do it, Shawn, like you're one of these people, and tell me from, what you're hearing. What are the stories? What's the specific thought or belief that keeps happening over and over again?
Okay. In this case, let's talk about people. They're on a dating site or meeting people in a different way, and they're texting and I hear this a lot that people say, well, we really hit it off at first. We seemed to be connecting well. We hadn't met yet, but he's sending me a text every day and sometimes several times a day. We're very in touch. It seems good. I'm feeling good about this. This is good. And then all of a sudden it's like, or maybe they're chatting on a website, right? Sometimes they're actually on a Facebook site or a dating site. And they're like, well, it was really good and we were really connected. And then slowly we weren't. And I asked him about it and he says, oh yeah, well, I don't have much time to be on here anymore because my work is taking priority right now. Or she says, well, whatever it is, some excuse is coming up. So it starts out really well and then it kind of fades off before they even get to meet. But they feel like it's good and they seem to have been making a connection. And some people, I had a guy say to me the other day, he says, I don't want to just be a pen pal. I want to meet with these girls, but the same thing's happening to him. He's going through and he's chatting with people and they want to meet, and it fizzles out before it gets anywhere. And it repeats over and over again.
That's a sucky cycle. Who wants out of it?
Right, exactly. Let's get out of this. Who wants this? I don't want to live in that. I'm sure you don't want to live in that.
Right. And it sounds to me like we're repeating a past story over and over again. And we'll say to ourselves, see, this happened again.
Okay,
that becomes a reality.
Yes, and that's the point. It is their reality. It doesn't just become a reality. It is their reality, and they'll fight for it. They will tell you how it's happened to their parents. It happens to all their friends. It happens to them over and over again. And the sad part for me is to listen to someone put so much emotion into why this is their reality. They get whatever kind of emotion, whether it's sadness or anger or whatever it is. When they attach that emotion to that feeling that this happens over and over again, and they can tell you with such great emotion, it'll make you cry, that, well, now they're anchoring that and really creating it to be their reality that they're living by, right?
Whew. All
you
right.
felt that, huh?
I felt that.
Well,
I really felt that. All right. So, question is, would you like to shift that reality? And could we open the door to maybe next time could be different for you?
That's interesting. So I go back to what I said, is people fight for the reality. So they've been living with this cycle for so long in some cases, where they've really gotten to a point where they kind of given up and they're just living with it, and they believe it to be their reality so strongly that it's like if you were in an abusive relationship. You hear this, and this is very sad too, is people that are in abusive relationships, they don't leave it because even in spite that this is abusive relationship, they know it and understand it, and they're more afraid of the unknown if they leave the relationship, so they stay in the relationship. So this is similar to that. And I'm not saying that people are all in abusive relationships, don't take me wrong, but it's similar in that they know this cycle, and it's repeated so often it's become comfortable for them. So if you say, let's change the cycle, first you have to get them to believe they can change the cycle and want to do it, because the cycle of staying here is the comfort zone. It's comfortable. I know this is what happens. I go through this cycle, and that going over there and creating a different belief is uncomfortable. So first off, I guess what would have to happen in this case is the pain of staying where you are has to be greater than the fear of going where you're not and creating a new reality. And you know where I find this comes up, Suzanne? It comes up in timing. People who are younger, they think, I have lots of time, so, it'll work itself out. And they're like that. But people who are already 55 and they think, well, I've been alone since I was 50. What happens if I go another 5 years? It'll be I'm 60. And when am I going to change it? If I don't get on this, I have to change this now, because pretty soon I'm going to be 60, and then who's going to want me when I'm 60? So they get into all of that fear eventually. And these are the only ones that this anything can work for, is eventually they have to get to a point, and we all have to be to a point where you say, yes, I'm willing to change, and I'm willing to look for that new reality. So let's start from there. For all of those people listening that say, yes, I'm willing. If you're not there yet, then, have fun, do it, do what you can do. And we wish you love, but let's talk about the ones that say, yes, I'm willing to change.
Wow. You added a lot of stuff to that, Shawn. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that in depth, because I know a lot of our listeners are going through exactly that same thing. So let me ask a roundabout question. Can you look at other people in your life and say, well, this person has a good relationship, or this person found someone? Question. Can you?
Okay, so we have people, let's say that. So what you're saying is, do we have people in our reality, in our vision, in our circle that have a great relationship, and it's not the same thing repeating for them over and over again? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay, so I would think in most cases, people know somebody they have a nice relationship, or they're doing really well, or she's dating great guys and she always meets great guys. I don't know why she meets great guys. She's so lucky. I get that sometimes, right? And from the guy's end too, they think, well, it just must be me or something, but
Right.
it's the other person's reality. So, okay. So let's say, I think what you're getting at is, can we borrow their reality?
Yes. Because we're trying to open a door, and 16-year-old Suzanne would have just said, think differently, right? If it's negative, make it positive.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you.
and then I discovered, with a few years of wisdom, then I discovered that, wait a minute, you need the stairs. You can't go from a negative to a positive without a few stepping stones along the way. So what we want to do, I want everybody to be aware, we simply want to open the door to, even though my reality seems so real, this is what it is. I can't change this. This is what it is. This is obviously my life. However, if we can open the door to say, I see other people that seem really lucky. You mentioned this word, lucky. They've found someone. They have a great relationship. Too bad that's not me. I don't live in Luckyville. What if I said their luck was caused by their thoughts and what they expected to find?
So their thoughts and expectations have led them to a different
reality for them. Exactly.
Okay.
Which brings us to the open door of, as much as you can say, but wait a minute, Suzanne, wait, Shawn, this is my life. This is just what I get. What if we could open the door to say, maybe I could make changes so the past story does not repeat itself?
Okay.
And that changes wouldn't be in how you dress or how you do your makeup or how you show up. The changes are in your thoughts, which probably are more difficult to change than your clothes.
Okay, I agree with that.
Okay, so what if I could tell you, now that we've agreed, you know what, there are other people that I see, maybe the couple that you don't even know that's walking down the street that's holding hands, the older couple that seems so much in love that you see in the park, on a park bench in the restaurant, and you say, wow, they have it. Okay, so, maybe, just maybe, I could make a shift. And I'm going to take this further. Maybe, even though I've experienced a lot of bad dates or bad relationships, for whatever reason keeps repeating itself, what if I change my thought to, you know what? There could be some great people out there. There could be some people a special person that treats me well, that shows up, that doesn't desert me, that likes to be around me. What if that was a possibility?
Okay, so recognizing it around you in others. So it's a different truth to live by, is that, look, it's happening for other people. It could happen for me. If we can get to that point, this is what I'm understanding from you. Is that right? If we can get to that point where we can start to see it around us and we can change our rooted belief that this is the way life is to, well, it's not that way for everybody. So maybe we can have something different. Okay, so where do we go from there?
Right. Because I'm not telling you the very next person you're going to change your reality immediately. But all we're looking for is the thought and the focus, the continual focus that it could be possible. And anytime your mind says, yeah, but look at all the duds you've dated, or look at all the same people you've found.
Yeah.
Every time you get that thought, you say, thanks for sharing, little monkey. However, I'm changing my thought to there is the possibility. So you have to keep replacing the old thought. Let's all be aware of that. No change happens overnight. You have to keep replacing the old thought with the possibility. So if we go with the possibility, Shawn, what would your emotion be with the possibility that you could find someone that honors you, wants to stay with you, doesn't stop their communication? If you had that thought, what would your feeling or your emotion be there?
Oh, well, then of course, there'd be a different kind of excitement into life. Instead of that, I've given up, it'd be like, whoa, what's today going to bring? Who am I going to meet today? And I think that's part of it, right? Is having the expectation, who will I meet today? And maybe it's not going to be it's not going to be, I fell in love at first sight or something like that, but it's going to be an openness to, oh, I met this guy here. He was a super nice guy. He helped me out with my groceries into the car or whatever it was, because I was struggling and, whatever it is. And then if you can kind of have that, you start to have an excitement. You start to look for it. Where am I going to see this? How am I going to see this show up in my life? And it's different, right? Now, as I said, instead of feeling like, oh, I just give up and I just go through life over and over again, it's this cycle, I can go like, oh, where is it going to show up today? And where's it going to show up tomorrow? And look forward to that. Is that what you mean?
That's exactly what I mean. I am already feeling the shift in you. To our listeners, I know Shawn is role-playing, but can you feel the difference in his energy from when he was talking about all the things that were going wrong? And now he's talking about the possibility of all the things that could go right. So let's take this further. Let's go from that positive feeling, that positive expectation that it's possible. Now, Shawn, what actions would you be driven to do?
Well, as I said, I would be looking for it, right? I'd be looking for it, and I would be, every day in a state of expectation, looking to see who is it that I might meet today and being excited about the idea. So those would be my actions, right?
Excellent. So let's take the actions into what do you think the result might be? What do you think might be a real life thing that happens because of your positive expectation?
Let's talk about that. I have that real life example happening around me in the people that we're talking to. And I had one lady, she's 67 years old. She relocated to a new place to be closer to her daughter and live closer to her daughter. Her daughter introduced her to her insurance agent who, because she needed to reset up and have her new contact people in the new town. And she was getting some stuff from him. And he literally said to her, I'd like to see you again. And she was taken aback. But it was all this new stuff and new expectations she had going on in her life. And with this new start, and they got to know each other, and they have a beautiful relationship. And it literally happened like that. She had this expectation of a new start in her life and a clean slate. And, we talked about and helped her clean up some of the stuff to let go of so that she was very clean going into this new relationship, but super happy, 67 years old, right? And it all came together. And it came together because she had a new expectation and shook things up a little bit, which created a new result, right? So it happens.
That's such a beautiful story for sharing. Thank you, Shawn. So what I want to point out is you don't even have to change cities to get the new results. All you have to do is change the thoughts.
Right, exactly.
And it comes back to, well, first, let's finish the cycle, and then I'll go into the training behind it. The reality is you could meet someone and have a very nice relationship. And will they be your one special person that you end up the rest of your life with? Maybe, maybe not. But my guess is that you're going to start to have better relationships that are long lasting. Maybe you just become great friends. And that every time that happens, that's going to feed your new thought or belief that we created that maybe it's possible for me.
Right. And you know what? That's beautiful about that. Sandy Gallagher says this from Proctor Gallagher Institute too. She says, just make it a little better all the time. Don't try and shoot for the stars and, just be a little better. If we're getting a little better results, a little better days, a little better relationships, that's where you go. You grow from there, right? It's a little better. So beautiful.
Exactly. So let's take this into the teaching moment of what's behind this. So that now that Shawn, as our example, you're feeling better, you're feeling more positive, and we think your results could be better, correct?
Right.
With the new thought.
Exactly. And yes, with a new thought. And I want to tell you that my phone's getting low on charge, so I might move around here and get it plugged in while we continue, okay?
All righty. Well, we've only got like about 3 to 5 minutes left, so hopefully it'll last through that.
Well, if I drop off, you can finish off without me.
Okay. That would be sad, but I hope you get to stay. This is the teaching moment because I really want you to be aware of the process that we just used. Okay. Right. So grab a pen and paper, draw yourself a circle, and we're going to pretend the circle, we're just going to think of it like a clock for a moment. At 12 o'clock, I want you to put thoughts and beliefs. At 3 o'clock, I want you to put the feelings and emotions you have. At 6 o'clock, you're going to put the actions you take or don't take. And at 9 o'clock, I want you to put the results. Now let's just run through this for a minute. Now that you've written it down, let me show you how it works because you can use it every single day of your life on any thought that you have. 1, you've got the feeling or belief. Let's do the negative side. You've got the feeling or belief that all the women are the same, all the men are the same. I keep experiencing the same things. Nothing's ever going to change. The feeling or emotion is one of giving up, sadness. You're like, what's the use? And you're feeling generally crummy. That means action or no action. Chances are you're probably going to stop taking action. Okay?
Right. Exactly what happens.
That leads to that, or you're still expecting the same results. So even if you do happen, your friend introduces you to someone and you say, okay, I have to go on this date, you're still going to get the same result. And the result is going to feed into, see, I told you I was right. We are very smart people, and we have a dynamic way of making ourselves always feel right.
That's right.
Okay, so let's say, man, this is really sucking because I keep getting the same results. well, Suzanne says maybe have a look at my thoughts. Okay, what thought could make me feel better? We change the thought to, you know what? I see other people around me. Maybe it could be possible for me.
Right.
Then you feel, as you said, you're more hopeful. Let's just go with more hopeful. More hopeful leads you to the action of looking around you for possibilities in whatever manner you choose to do that. The result is you start to go on some coffee dates or meet some people that are really super nice. And you feed back into your very smart thought or belief that is, oh, I knew that could be possible. Look at that. My reality is changing before my eyes.
That's the beautiful thing, right? When there's confirmation that I can change my reality, and you confirm it because you start to see things getting better.
Yeah. So that's a little exercise on, are your thoughts creating your reality, or is your reality creating your thoughts? Told you we'd mess with your mind a little bit. For a lot of people, this is, and I love to do that. And this is kind of a little like a semi-coaching session of helping people change the thought that doesn't serve them to a thought that does serve them, so that we can change the results that we get. So it's based on, are you focused on what you don't want, or are you focused on what you do want? And at this point, I wanted just to encourage everybody to go to our website. It's readyforarelationship.com. We've got other podcasts and we've got other blogs to serve you. But most important, I highly encourage you. We've got a very short mini masterclass on that page, totally free for you. It talks about clearing out your baggage so that you don't self-sabotage with an old belief when things are going well. Say, oh, but it has to be this old way. We'll help you clear out that baggage in this free masterclass. And if you like what you hear, it's going to lead you to a call with Shawn.
Okay.
So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I always love to work through these little mind puzzles in order to empower and benefit you all. I hope you appreciated it, and I hope that you will re-listen to this, because it's important stuff and it'll change your life and it'll change your reality. So Shawn, thank you once again for joining me. Love ya.
Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye.
Here we are at the end of the podcast, and you just got some Suzanne loving. If you got value out of this podcast and you want to spread some love too, subscribe, rate, review, leave a comment. And who was it that you were thinking about who could also be uplifted by it? Share it with them now. Catch you next time.